So today,
Hi.
I'm bringing up one of the questions that we get asked quite a lot that comes searched a lot on the internet. So I thought we'd bring it up and see what we could discuss with it. So the question is a one-page website good enough for your business? What do you think?
I think it can be, but for very, very, very specific reasons and scenarios. But in general terms, for most businesses, I'm going to go with no, and
Okay,
I think we could probably come up with some reasons why.
go on, give me your top 5 reasons why.
Top five. Okay. Okay, well, most pages are for SEO purposes have a single keyword phrase and a central concept. So if you only have one page, then you're limiting your whole site to one single keyword phrase. So you've got less opportunity for your site and to rank well, and less opportunity for your business to be seen by more people, basically. So that would be number one.
Cool, one.
One. Okay. Uh, Number two, I think it would be probably quite difficult if you have a very long page and you have a lot of different content on there. It's going to be harder for your users to find the specific content that they're looking for. So that's going to probably generate a poorer user journey than it could be if it was separated out.
What happens if you have one of those super long pages, but you have a menu and you click on it and it jumps you down the page? I think I broke you.
Well,
Are you frozen?
well, you click on a menu and it jumps you down the page. That's what happens. Do you mean in terms of SEO?
Would that not resolve that issue of the customer journey because you're giving them that option to jump down a page? So you sometimes see a one-page website that's really, really long, but then you click on a menu and it'll jump halfway down the page, and that's that section for the rather than having separate pages.
Yeah. I mean, depending on how that's implemented, it can be okay. But the other thing that it will start to affect is things like your loading time for that page. So that takes me into the next point. And if you have like a really, really long page and you might have videos on there and images, which you should have because these are great things to engage your potential customers. So if you've got all those like videos and images and loads of content all on one big long page, then the page is going to take ages to load, and you're going to end up with well, your users are just going to get fed up for a start, and again, so that's going to impact the user journey quite negatively. And also with some of the new things, I think we've talked about in other video about the new sort of page experience, where Google is really focusing more on the user's experience. So a user's experience is really, really important. So you must really take this into account when you're thinking about your website.
Absolutely. Okay, cool. So we're at 3.
Yep. So this would be number 4, because we've already mentioned the loading time, which was number 3. Yes?
Yeah. Yes.
Confused.
Okay, so we're at number 5.
No, we're at number 4. Oh dear. Well, there are any number of these. We can't apparently count up to 5, it turns out. Anyway, so one of the things that search engines do really well is that they index sites incredibly well if they're organized into sections or categories, if you like, and subcategories and subheadings, and any kind of hierarchy that you have in pages that does really well with search engines, because it's easier for them to index them and to match your website with somebody's question that they've typed in. So if they've got some headings that match something question they've typed in, it's much easier to find that, and that's easier to do if you have multiple pages than if you only have one big long one-page website. So that would be
That's true. Number 4.
number 4.
You know, when you talk talk about that, I imagine when I was a little girl, we used to have the magazines, and they had almost the flow charts. So it started at one thing, and you had to get like from beginning to the end, and you follow your different things. And did they say this or this, and you say yes or no? That's what I picture when you talk about, you know, the structure of the website.
That's quite cool. Yeah, it's not exactly like, yeah, it's similar. Yeah, you can use flowcharts. You can use that kind of mapping out of your pages before you start planning your website. That's a really cool thing. We should actually do a video on planning your website sometime, because yeah, that's a really cool way of thinking about it, and it's really good to think in advance of what all your pages are going to be and how they're going to hang together, and what your headings and subheadings and stuff are going to be, and and then, you know, have a really good plan for your site before you even start to write a line of code or open a web builder or WordPress or whatever. It's a really cool thing to do. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, was that 4 or 5?
That was 4. We've got one more. We've got one more. So
okay.
the last one that I have on the list is links, the lack of links. So if you've only got one big long page, there is less opportunity for you to link out and link in to various pages in your site. So for example, if you have an external site that's linking back into you, then there's only one place it can go, isn't it, if there's only one page? Whereas if you talk about multiple things on a multi-page site, well, they might link back a couple or more times to your site, which would be really cool. And also, even for internal links, yeah, you're going to have less opportunity to link in. I mean, you can link down the page and up the page, and that's really it. There's no kind of cross-page opportunities. So yeah, I would say I'm going to call that 5. I count 5 in that. What do you think?
I think that sounds good. That sounds good. So essentially, what we're saying is that a one-page website is maybe good as a landing page, but it's not. If you want to have an ultimate business profile, you want to have multiple pages.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying at the beginning. Yeah, there are specific scenarios where something like a landing page is a prime example, where you've got a landing page and its sole purpose in life is to act as a lead magnet. So you're making an offer, and you're hoping that people will then give their email address, or even at that point make a purchase, depending on how you've got that all lined up or funneled in, or where it appears in your funnel. But if it's an initial one, you might want to just collect an email address in exchange for some kind of download or other, and you could do that, and then marketers do it very well, the landing pages, and they can churn them out really quickly. But that's a landing page. That is not your website for your business, I would say.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you very much for giving us the top 5-ish. Now that we managed to count to 5. Yeah, and we'll head off there. Thanks for your time.
You're very welcome. Okay, cheerio, bye.
Bye.